What's up, everybody? It's KBR Sports, the best sports talk show, your 24-hour day, back from the break. Remember, you all can follow, subscribe to the KBR Sports Podcast on Rabble TV, Spreaker, YouTube, iTunes, and SoundCloud. Also, don't forget you can follow the KBR Sports Twitter page at KBR_sports, where I see the live links and show topics prior to every single show. Also, don't forget to call in at 571-991-0566. That way, you all can chime in on any KBR Sports topic that may be getting discussed, or to pitch your own topics that you want to hear discussed on the show. Don't forget that you all can comment and also subscribe and all those things, like and all that on the KBR Sports Podcast, to YouTube, all those different things. It's greatly appreciated, y'all. Show your support. We appreciate all the love. Okay, so jumping into the next topic since we're running out of time here. Carmelo Anthony, biggest news right now, teaming to stream along the free agency track, even though he's not technically a free agent. But news was broken by Adrian Wojnarowski that Carmelo Anthony be willing to waive his no-trade clause and a trade to Cleveland or the Houston Rockets. Now, the big question is, which team specifically would be a better fit for Carmelo? Because I feel like throughout all the free agency, we've had all this talk about, oh man, does Carmelo deserve to be with the Rockets or the Cavaliers? It seemed like there was momentum pushing him to Cleveland, and that in terms of for a Kevin Love trade, but that's not something that the Knicks management wanted to do, especially during the tenure of Phil Jackson, where he would have just preferred to just buy out Carmelo and just get rid of him. Whereas the upper management essentially stepped in and said, no, we're not doing that. Look, we're going to get something for this guy. So when you look at both teams and you look at how Melo would fit Cleveland, you look at how Melo would fit in Cleveland, they need a guy that can create his own shot, who's a wing player, a guy that can take it to the basket. Essentially, Melo can post up, he can shoot threes, he can do all those things. Melo can rebound, not as well as Kevin Love, but he can still rebound. So when you sit back and look at it, you think, okay, so Melo would be playing alongside LeBron James, Kyrie Irving. He would essentially be playing there as the second scorer on the team, or the third option. Sorry, not the second, the third option on the team. Houston, Melo would arguably be the second scorer on the team because Chris Paul is a pure point guard, and he'd go there to play alongside Chris Paul, James Harden, and as it sits right now, Trevor Ariza, Ryan Anderson, Clint Capella, and Eric Gordon, with Mike D'Antoni as the head coach. And they would be playing in a very fast-paced, heavy three-point centric offense. So that might be something that Melo would essentially be interested in. Maybe because of the fact that he would be playing with a friend in Chris Paul, and him and Mike D'Antoni's last stint together didn't particularly end out well. Essentially, Mike D'Antoni said he was fired because of Melo, but I digress. So when you look at it, you sit there and think and essentially because the Houston team, they would have to give up so much to get Melo. So you wonder, would it even be worth it to a degree? Because if you sit back and think about it, they would have to match. When you're making a trade, you have to match contracts. And then because of the fact of you don't know what would happen with Melo's trade kicker, because then he would make 15% of the money that he's owed on top of the money he's already owed. So with the trade kicker, you have to trade guys like Ryan Anderson, who has a $20 million contract, Eric Gordon, maybe throwing another piece on top of that. Like, you'd have to move a lot of parts and essentially deplete your team to get Melo. And something that would be emblematic of something that happened with Melo when he initially came to New York. And nobody wants to deplete their whole team just to get one guy that's in his 30s, and not LeBron James at that. So I think the best fit for Melo will honestly be in Cleveland because, one, you already have that guy LeBron James there. Two, you already have Kyrie Irving there. And three, the workload is a lot less on Melo, so maybe that because of that lessened workload on offense, Melo would funnel that energy into defense. I mean, that's wishful thinking. I am wishing here that he would funnel that into defense. Just playing alongside LeBron James, maybe he would have some kind of urge to play defense. I don't know. I'm hoping. This is all hope, y'all. But I think that Cleveland would definitely be the better fit because essentially you'd just be swapping contracts with contracts. You'd be swapping Kevin Love for Carmelo, maybe another role player, but it wouldn't be not anything too instrumental. So I definitely think Cleveland would be this place for Melo to play at, especially since they would be able to have a lot of size on that court alongside with LeBron and Kyrie and the rest. Whereas in Houston, if Melo were to go to Houston, I mean, you need I think a guy like LeBron James just makes the whole equation unfair. Like, LeBron just shifts the balance of power in almost every aspect. In every scenario, if you're asking me, hey, team A or team B, one team has LeBron, one team has Chris Paul and James Harden, and the other team has LeBron and Kyrie, I'm gonna mostly go with the LeBron team. even though James Harden is arguably better than Kyrie, and Chris Paul could arguably better than Kyrie, LeBron's that much better than those two that I would take the LeBron and Kyrie Irving pairing. So this definitely interesting thing to think about with Melo and everything like that. And it's really not his choice, because even though he's willing to go to both teams, the choice comes down to James Dolan and the New York Knicks upper management in terms of, and Steve Mills and who's now the general manager in the current moment, and of who they would want to, or which team they want to move Melo to, where they see Melo best fitting at. That's essentially what it all comes down to. So while Melo does have the power to waive the no trade clause, his final destination will essentially be in the hands of the New York Knicks management that essentially tried to trade him early and buy him out at one point in time. But alright, that's going to wrap it up for KBR Sports. It's been the best sports talk show of your 24-hour day. Don't forget, you all can follow and subscribe to the KBR Sports Podcast on Rap TV, Spreaker, YouTube, iTunes, and SoundCloud. Also, don't forget, you can follow the KBR Sports Twitter page at KBR_sports, where the live links and show topics are tweeted prior to every single show. Also, don't forget, you can call in at 571-991-0566 to join in and call in and give your own thoughts on whatever KBR Sports Sword topic may be getting discussed at that point in time, or to pitch your own topics. Also, please don't forget to comment, like, share, and follow, subscribe, all those things to show your support for KBR Sports. And you wouldn't want to miss a dosage of KBR Sports, man. And you might as well share it with your friends and everybody else, because just to show them how dope KBR Sports is, it would be greatly, greatly appreciated. And also, remember, comment your thoughts about the holiday, and do we celebrate holidays correctly in accordance of how they're described? That's something. This is a little nugget for us to think about going into the 4th of July. So happy 4th of July, everybody. Make sure you celebrate it right. Celebrate with your family and friends and all those. Remember all those who put us in this position to be able to live in this wonderful country. All right, y'all. Have a great night.